thank you all for coming out. This is really exciting for me and for the guys here, and hopefully you're inquisitive enough that you want to find out what it is, and we think it'll be good for boxing in the town and hopefully spread it outside the town to the southwest. Let me see, boxing for the last 7-8 years, thanks to effort from a lot of people in the town. Keith Leo, one of them mainly, for bringing the pro shows back into Swindon, has been on the rise. Boxing in Swindon's been on the rise. Even things, and I say to people sometimes and they act surprised, even the white collar has helped the professional boxing. Because you have the white collar, you have the pro boxing, you have the amateur boxing, and all of that put together has got people in general wanting to see boxing. Not all of them necessarily know the difference between pro and white collar and amateur, but they're interested in boxing, and it's growing. Swindon's been a town that has produced good fighters right throughout the years, with Ricky Porter, with Peter Neal, Eddie Nielsen. There's been lots of Jamie Cox right now, world class, world ranked, and it's exciting now because boxing is actually, Swindon's turning into a bit of a fight town, as opposed to what we would have before, one good fighter at a time or one very good fighter at a time. Now we have a lot of good fighters, and we have the opportunity to build it to become bigger and bigger, so long as we do things right. And that's hopefully what we're going to set out to do today. We're going to start to do things right, the way we think that they should be done. So what we have done is, these three men to the left have started a company called Trifecta Sports Entertainment. And then they got me running around behind them, sweeping the floor and cleaning up. I just recognized you with the beard. God damn, man. Like Bear Grylls. Trifecta Sports Entertainment, what that is it is a company that is going to start promoting sports personalities in general within the town, mainly focused on boxing, but sports personalities in general. When young fighters are starting out, they need to be able to promote themselves in order to be able to sell tickets. You don't bring bums on seats. There isn't money in the promotion. If there isn't money in the promotion, no one's getting paid. There is an opportunity to have these promotions packed. There's plenty of people that want to see these fight nights. Trifecta Sport and Entertainment is giving these three men the opportunity to take control of their own careers, which is exciting, because normally that won't happen until you've already achieved a world title. Then you start getting more and more involved in trying to take control of the direction you're going to go. These men are sharp enough to be able to do it from the get-go. I'll support them then in whatever way they need to make it happen. Thank you. Someone sent me a nice good luck to her. So, what it is about, you need the support of everyone in the town. I think when you have sport personalities within the town, they need to realize that people do look up to them, and they need to use that to try and benefit people in the town. Trifecta Sports and Entertainment will be doing a lot of charitable work within the town. We'll be putting on events, different levels, small events, big events, every 6-8 weeks, raising money for charities directly in the town, not giving it to a charity, where sometimes only 10% of that reaches what it's supposed to reach, but finding out something in the town that needs helping with, raising money, giving it directly to that cause that needs the help there and then. It's helping each other out. I think that if these men are doing things within the town to raise awareness and raise money, that raises their profile. The bigger their profile becomes, the more they're able to do for people in the town. The bigger their profile comes, when we start to put on boxing events, then those events already become popular because people know who these men are to begin with. Trifecta Sports Entertainment have already signed up these two men. Harry was supposed to be making his pro debut on November 26th. Unfortunately, that show did not go ahead. It was not a show that was one of ours, but it didn't go ahead, which is a shame, but these things happen. So his debut now will be on the next show. Trifecta, 3 things you bet on that all come in. It could be these 3 men, but it could be second and third part of what we need to disclose to you, which will happen in January, so you're going to have to keep waiting for that. We have made an agreement and a deal with the promoter. The promoter, you will know him when his name is said. He has just arranged something and got onto a new deal, which is good for him and good for boxing, and now it's good for us already. He doesn't want his name to be revealed until January, but he has said, I can say, quite frankly, you'll all know, and that's about as much as I can say on that. But it's going to be exciting. There is 4 shows already booked. You got that one, didn't you, Will?
Yeah.
There is 4 shows already booked for next year. We have March the 4th, we have June, we have September, and we have November. And if we are able then to put on more shows in between, we will be doing that. Duke is fighting for the Irish title in March. It will possibly be here in the town. If it goes to purse bids and we lose it, it could end up in New York on Michael Conlan's undercard. That's just me guesstimating, but I think it's a pretty good guess. The man that he's facing, Ian Timms, is managed by MGM, who also got Michael Conlan and Paddy Barnes. They're putting on a big Irish show, Michael Conlan's pro debut in March, so he could end up fighting over there St. Patrick's Day. These other 2 men, again, to keep you guessing, because it's nice. One of them has a very significant fight coming up within, and it'll probably be on the March show. We'll reveal that in January. We'll also reveal the opponent and who it is. So these 2 men have signed a 12-month contract to begin with, where Trifecta is going to promote them as sportsmen, raise their profile as sportsmen. It'll also add 2 more men who are going to be helping out and doing things within the town. That's a bit of a brief of what's going on. I'm going to get these men now to come up. There's a couple of them shaking at the knees to be stood in front of you. Chase should be all right. He's at a shot. He's still on the shot. But I'm going to introduce him. They can have a little chat with you guys. Any questions then that you guys would like to ask, we're more than happy to answer them. But I will finish again by saying I really appreciate you guys coming out. It is fantastic to see a press conference be what is supposed to be a press conference. People here and excited about what's going to happen. I appreciate your time. I'm going to pass you over now to Harry Webb. Thank you.
Told you the wire, not the blooper.
Yeah, thank you for coming, guys. It's good to see some new faces and also some old faces. First of all, Trifecta, what it does for me, we've got a 12-year, not 12 month, 12 year. We've got a 12-month plan for next year. That's going to hopefully give me four fights for the next year. Obviously, as Paddy said, I was meant to make my debut on the 26th of November. That didn't happen. It was going not to happen. I was feeling good, had a lot of support coming up. Was hoping to put on a good show for you guys. It didn't happen, but yeah, it gives me 3 months now, or it gives me more time to get ready for the next one. I'm looking forward to the debut, and yeah, putting on a show for you. It's exciting. It's opening new doors with Trifecta. Yeah. It's gonna
Make a feature of it, brother.
Yeah. You know, it's definitely gonna help me build my profile. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to being in exciting fights for you guys, and just putting on a show. I've got great men beside me here. Obviously, I'm going to be on the undercard for these guys. It's going to be good.
worry about it. I think you've said a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's all I've really got to say, really. No, yeah, these guys beside me will tell you more about it, and like I said, thank you for coming, and I hope you all have a good Christmas.
Over to you, sir.
Over to me.
Over to you.
Thanks again for everyone coming and showing their support today. I've been boxing for Paddy now for the last 8 years. It's been really good. When I first walked into the gym, I never thought I'd have the opportunity to actually become a professional, but see, here I am today. Really excited to sign a 12-month contract with these guys, Trifecta. They'll be giving me support over the next 12 months, trying to get my name out there while I gain a bit of experience in the ring, which is obviously really important for me. I'll be making my debut in March sometime. I don't have exact dates on that yet, but yeah, really looking forward to that. Yeah. Any questions anyone got for me before I sit down? No, I didn't.
Part of their job is to get these guys more relaxed when they're up here. And that'll all happen bit by bit. There's a first time for everything. And like Jason said, he's been with me 8 years. Harry's been with me going on 3?
Yeah, come on, 3.
Going on 3 years. So for me personally, I couldn't be happier than having all these men now coming through, turning pro, especially these 3 guys here actually taking control of their careers. There's enough fighters out there leaving control up to other people, and then when you talk to them, they don't actually know what's going on with their own careers, and I think every fighter should know what's going on with their own careers. These men will not only know what's going on with their own careers, but they'll be steering them. And like I said, I'm going to be there to help them. So next up, I'm going to call, who you should all know, Mr. Ryan Super Martin.
Thank you all for coming on your Saturday afternoons. Done a fair few of these now, and I can tell you boys it doesn't get easier. Still nervous. Yeah, so 2017 is going to be, I think it's going to be exciting for all of us, for us as fighters to sort of take more control in our career, as Paddy said. There's only so much we can tell you now. I think it's all been covered, but it's going to be exciting. We've definitely got more control over what's going to be going on in the near future. Trifecta is definitely going to open some doors for us, and hopefully for other sports people in Swindon. And hopefully you can all sort of get to know us better as people. I think that's one thing that we've struggled with in the town. And just getting to know us all as sports people, getting more involved with things going on in the town, and hopefully that raises our profile. So it's going to be good to be getting involved with everyone, and I hope you all support us as we go. So thank you, cheers.
Next man I'm going to call up, he's been with me around 2 years now, or this is coming up to 3 as well. 2 years. I'm punchy. 2 years. He was supposed to be the main event on the show that didn't happen November 26th. He's not from the town directly, but he is an adopted Swindonian. He trains here, he represents here, and everyone within the town, you shouldn't mind whether you're born here or what's going on. So long as you're in this town, doing something for this town and representing this town, we should all get behind him. So I'd like to bring up Mr. Sam Sniper Smith.
First, I want to thank everyone for turning up today. Really appreciate your support. I think Brian's covered pretty much most of all of it.
Should have worn some glasses,
I
brother.
should have worn some, you should have expected. But now I'm really excited about Trifecta. Yes, it's a good opportunity for all of us, as well as these 2 young fighters making their debut next year.
What type of fights do you want in the next 4 or 5?
Want some big fights for me next year, hopefully. The one on the 26th November fell through, but I'm sure in 2017 is going to be a big year for all of us, especially for myself. But I'm honoured to be part of Trifecta.
He is honoured to be part of Trifecta. He's still honoured to be part of Trifecta. And you're going to get to know this man more and more over the next 12 months. Thank you very much. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, I asked all the boys to be here in plenty of time so they could settle in. And see, and you already know what I'm talking about. So plenty of time for Duke means showing up 2 minutes late. So Mr. Hollywood, would you like to step up here, please?
Wow, Trifecta. No, all jokes aside, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to taking control of myself and of my career in boxing. I think it's a great opportunity for the town. I believe already there's a lot of interest in what's going on. People are messaging me via social media, text messages. What's this about? What's this about? What's this about? Turn up today, grab a glass of bubbly and you'll find out. These lads have covered everything really, thank God, on what needs to be said, what's going on. For the future, you know, these guys, boxing in Swindon, I'm not sure if you know them too well yet, but you will get to know them. I think for Swindon as a whole, as Paddy said, boxing is thriving at the moment, and the opportunities that this is going to bring, not just for us, but for other people and people that are looking to come through the professional ranks in Swindon, it's great. So I won't talk too much about Trifecta. I would just like to thank everyone for coming today. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and in the new year, I hope we can bring you lots of entertainment from Trifecta. Thanks again.
So you pretty much have it. We had a couple of stumbles, but we got them. I told the boys, look out for the wires when you stand up. And Harry near ripped in, came and said, what's that?
I just stumbled in the ring.
There you go. So we can tell you the date of the first show. It's going to be March 4th. It's being held at the Futsal Arena. It's not called Futsal anymore now. What's it called? You know the name of it now? Play Football. So it's the old Futsal Arena. It's now called Play Football. And that show, like we said, there's possibility that Duke's fight will go to purse bids. If we can't agree purses between the camps, we'll go to purse bids. May the best team win. We think we're on a no-lose with that because we're prepared to put more money than is normally put on an Irish title fight, quite a bit more, to win that. If we don't win it, you know, we've got second best option fighting on their show is actually excellent for Duke because he can only be in one of 3 places. It's either in New York, so it'll get him out there to the American audience on a massive show, and if it's not in New York, that means it's in Ireland. Well, if you're fighting for the Irish title, you want the Irish people to see what's going on. So we're in a no-lose situation with that. Ryan will be the main event on the first show. Sniper will be chief support. These 2 young men here will be making their pro debuts. We will have 2 more fighters on the show. We have 2 more fighters joining Trifecta. We can't say who they are yet. Again, that will be revealed in the new year. We will also reveal the promoter's name. And we will also reveal something very exciting that we got going on, which is based on something that you all see all the time now, like a reality show, but it's to do with the boxing. It's going to raise the profile of the boxing in the town, and it's going to lay the path that's going to help other fighters within the town or guys that want to come into the town. This, for me, has been, I said to Duke around a year or 2 ago. We're together 9 years now, we were together 7 years at the time. I said after 7 years, we're finally at the beginning. That's kind of how it feels again today. Now after 9 years, we're finally at the beginning. Because everything is in place now. We have a promoter behind us. We have these men in charge of their own careers. We have more class fighters in the town than ever before. Like I said, Swindon has always produced good men, but one at a time. Now we have men like Jamie Cox. We have Kelly Morgan, who's going to be fighting for the world title. She's already the silver belt holder at the WBC. We have Ryan, these three men, Ryan, Sniper and Duke. To me, these men are all world class. We've got to prove that now. That's what I believe. I think most people that know Ryan have followed him throughout his amateur career and know what class he is. People now know what class Duke is. In 9 fights, he's ranked number 7 in Great Britain. He's fighting for the Irish title. We've done this without a big promoter behind us. There is other fighters who've had 15 fights in the cruiserweight division who are ranked lower than him, and they're with the big promoters. We're doing something right. And now we've got a team behind us. So we have people like Ray over there, Nathan from Jazz Bones. We have a team behind us that's helping us to move this forward the way we believe it should be. So March 4th, make sure you stick the date in your diaries. We will be announcing the other 2 releases, statement releases, at the end of January. This time come and make sure that you leave some space. We want that bubbly drink. We're not going to be doing little press conferences hidden away. We're going to be doing them bigger and bolder all the time. I want to thank Doug up there and Manny for inviting us up here and letting us use this old bank. We think it's a classy place, and we wanted to announce this because we think this is classy in a classy place. So I appreciate you, Doug, appreciate Manny. Any questions that you have? Anything at all? You all stumped? Yes, sir.
For those people who are not familiar with like how boxing works, how important is it to have regular shows in Swindon rather than having your fighters on other people's cards all over the country on other shows?
Right, boxing is a business. You have got to get bums on seats. The promotion has to earn money. Therefore, the fighters, which is what you're selling, have got to be of interest to the public in order for them to come so that the promoter makes money and the fighters get paid. When you fight on another promoter show outside the town, you are the away fighter. Regardless of whether you have the belief that you're going to win that fight, you're the away fighter. If you don't have to sell tickets and your name isn't big enough at the time, well then you know you're brought in there to lose. That doesn't mean you always do, but that's what you're brought in to do. I think, and I said it to Duke when he first turned pro, I scratch my head a little bit at guys who leave the place that they were born to go straight away to London or Liverpool or Manchester, to these bigger fighting cities. If you can't sell yourself in your own hometown, you're not going to be able to sell yourself in somebody else's hometown. It's important that the people in the town know you. But what I believe has been happening up until this point, no one talks about the boxing until it's time to put on a show. And then the fighters are running around trying their best, but to sell tickets to people that didn't even know they were fighting, or didn't know, have any updates, or what's going on. A fighter needs to be kept busy in order to progress. It's not good enough to have 1 or 2 fights a year. I would prefer my fighters to have 4 to 6 fights a year for the same money if they were getting offered to fight once a year. If they were getting offered to fight, get 20 grand for 1 fight a year, or get 5 grand 4 times a year. I'd much prefer them to get 5 grand 4 times a year. You need to be busy. Adverts on television, why do they work? Because they're in your face all the time. You sit down, turn the TV on, they're there. That's what needs to happen with fighters. You need to be out there all the time. You've just watched them fight, you just heard about them fight, you've seen something about it in the paper, and then they're in there a week or 2 later doing something within the community. They're in there a month later doing something else. Then they're out there again fighting. They're progressing. They're progressing as fighters, and they're building up their stock as a company, because that's what all these are individually. They're companies. They need to be able to raise their profile. That's what Trifecta is about. The deal we have with the promoter, like I said, quite frankly, is an excellent deal. It's going to keep these men busy. It's going to get them out there all the time, shows that we know is going to happen, but shows where we have a lot of control over it. Trifecta has an exclusive deal when he comes to town, and it means that they are in control of the show. He's the promoter. He has, of course, say what's going on, but the boys are in control as far as how it's going to be marketed and what's going to be done. They're going to be working together with the promoter as opposed to just working for the promoter. None of us in boxing would be making money unless these men are making money. If I manage a fighter or train a fighter, I make a percent of what he earns. If he doesn't earn nothing, I earn nothing. If he earns peanuts, I earn shells. In order for them to be earning money where I can earn money, we've got to do everything we can to raise their profile. We all work for the fighters. So this is a chance for the fighters to take charge, get out there, keep busy, and it's only good for Swindon. I'm looking at guys here. I got little Lewis there. He's been with me since he was 6. He told me when he was 8 he was going to be a pro. Kind of rubbed him in the head and go, that's cute. And he told me when he was 9 he was going to be a pro. He's now turning 15 in January. He still says he's going to be a pro, but now he says with even more conviction. He is going to be a pro. And it's going to be within the next 3 years. And that'll go back in a heartbeat. So we'll have another pro in the town. I'm also looking at James there. So that's kind of the direction that man's headed to. So that might take 12 months, might take 18 months. But we're in a position in the town where we shouldn't be supporting these men, and then when their career is over, boxing goes into a lull again. These guys having their profile raised is good for these men here. These men having their profile raised is good for them men out there. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we are going to be doing. I'm relentless every day at what I do. And I believe these men are too, or I wouldn't be involved in. Anybody else? No? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I want to thank Doug. I want to thank Manny. I want to thank Ray because he's always there supporting. I want to thank Nathan, but he's off down under to Australia for 3 weeks, sunning it. I want to thank Ryan's father. This is how press conferences, to me, should be held, where you stand up and people know who's addressing the crowd and the crowd know who's addressing them. Ryan's father made this possible today. We're going to do things bigger and better continuously in the town. You can hold us to it. We'll make sure it happens. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.